ഹലോ, എല്ലാവർക്കും നമസ്കാരം. ആപ്റ്റിക്കോയുടെ എക്സ്പെർട്ടീസ് സെഷൻ നമ്പർ 5ലേക്ക് ഏവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. കോളേജ് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു ജോബ് ഓഫർ കിട്ടുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു വലിയ കാര്യം തന്നെയാണ്. പലർക്കും തങ്ങളുടെ കരിയർ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ ഒരു പ്രചോദനവും ഫൈനാൻഷ്യലി പാരൻസിൽ നിന്നും ഇൻഡിപെൻഡൻ്റ് ആവുക എന്ന ഒരു ലക്ഷ്യവും അതിലൂടെ സാക്ഷാത്കരിക്കാൻ പറ്റും. അങ്ങനെ കോളേജ് കഴിഞ്ഞ ഉടൻ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ പ്രൊഫഷണൽ കരിയർ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് വലിയൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിനൊക്കെ വേണ്ടി ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മൾ ഈ എക്സ്പെർട്ടീസ് സെഷൻ ഒരുക്കി വെച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇന്ന് അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ പ്ലേസ്മെൻറ്റിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടും കരിയർ ഗൈഡൻസിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ടും വളരെയധികം പ്രവൃത്തി പരിചയമുള്ള ഒരാളെയാണ് നമ്മളിന്ന് കൊണ്ടുവന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇന്ന് നമ്മുടെ ഗസ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് NIT കാലിക്കറ്റിലെ അസിസ്റ്റൻറ്റ് പ്രൊഫസർ, മെറ്റീരിയൽ സയൻസ് വിഭാഗത്തിലെ അസിസ്റ്റൻറ്റ് പ്രൊഫസറും പിന്നെ കഴിഞ്ഞ കൊല്ലം വരെ NIT കാലിക്കറ്റിലെ പ്ലേസ്മെൻറ്റുകൾക്ക് നേതൃത്വം നൽകിയ ഡോക്ടർ ഹനസ് ടി ആണ്. സാറിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറയുന്ന നേരം കഴിഞ്ഞ കൊല്ലമൊക്കെ ഏകദേശം NIT കാലിക്കറ്റിലൊക്കെ കോവിഡ് ആയിരുന്നിട്ട് പോലും നല്ല നല്ല പാക്കേജുകളൊക്കെ വന്നിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പം സാറിന് അതിനെക്കുറിച്ചൊക്കെ നല്ലവണ്ണം അറിയാമെന്നും അത് എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ നേടിയെടുക്കാമെന്നും എത്രയോ നല്ല പ്ലേസ്ഡായ കുട്ടികളെ കണ്ടുപരിചയമുള്ളത് കൊണ്ടും ഇതിനെയൊക്കെ കുറിച്ച് ദീർഘമായി സംസാരിക്കാൻ സാറിന് പറ്റുന്നതായിരിക്കും. അപ്പം സാറിൻ്റെ വാക്കുകളിലേക്ക് നമുക്ക് കിടക്കാം.
So very good afternoon to all. I hope I am audible. In between, if there is some disconnectivity or something, one of you can please call me over phone. That will be better, I guess. I'm not sure about how many people are there from the final years and how many from the final year, how many from the pre-final and the second year. Of course, first years would not have joined by this time. So I'm not here with some kind of a magic band with which everybody can get trained for a placement within with one session or something like that. When the organizers contacted me, I thought that I will share whatever little exposure I got during my tenure as a coordinator for training and placement center at NIT Calicut. I hope those will be useful for you. And in fact, I'm not going to tell you about a particular kind of a training or particular kind of coaching or etc. what you have to do. But I'm delivering a certain points here which you can ponder upon and see where you actually stand in terms of your career planning. And this is though it is mostly intended for placement. You can see a few of the points what I discuss here are also related to those students who actually wanted to pursue higher studies in good institutes. Can you see the second slide? The slide is changing. Can you confirm it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So basically, as you know, nowadays there is a gap. Not only nowadays, now the gap has actually increased between what you actually learn in the during your course and what is expected out of you from the when you join a company. So it is important that you are aware of the gap what is actually there, and it is important that you try to fill in the gap. And this will need some extra effort from the individual students, because many of those things will not be taken care by a curriculum or a syllabus that is actually delivered in the campus. Okay, though those curriculum and syllabi will have provisions for you to make up for this, but there will not be a formal kind of teaching or something in those areas. And that is what is very important, because during the 4 years of your studies in the campus, you should be giving due weightage for such things too, so that finally when you are in the final year or when you go for something kind of a job hunting, you are able to convince people that you are worth hiring for a particular profile. Okay, so let us what is more important is that you should be able to self-assess yourself first. Okay, and when I say self-assessment, this is not to demotivate you. please keep in mind that you are all actually very valuable people. You have enough talent within you. Only thing what you have to do is that you have to fine tune your talent with a certain kind of attitude towards performance. You can see that you all will excel in the career. Okay, but it is important that we know ourselves. So what you mean by actually knowing ourselves is that what I mean is that you should be actually aware of your strength as well as weakness. Okay, so now your strength and weakness you only can tell. Why strength? Because strength is something on which you can actually sell yourself. You can actually pitch yourself. You can say this is what you are good in doing, and so of course you can see that that is a profile where you fit in. And why weakness? Weakness is always important because you should be aware of your weakness. One thing, so that you can make up for it, and another thing, you can always do some kind of a damage control in that area whenever you are into that kind of things. So more than strength, what I feel is that you have to work on the weakness, and strength, of course, you have to reinforce it. And when you are aware of your weakness, you should always look for opportunities to how to overcome this weakness. Look at people around you. Look how others actually deal with situations in which you are weak, and try to learn from them. Try to interact with people. Okay, so you should be aware of your strength as well as weakness. Now, once you are actually aware of your strength and weakness, now what is next is actually needed is action from your side. Now, action from your side means, what I mean is that you have to actually decide upon what you actually whether you are ready to work for it, whether you are ready to do hard work as well as smart work for it, whether you are ready to spend time for it, whether you will enjoy doing that. That is what is more important. So you have to feel motivated. For example, when the organizers contacted me, they told that it would be better if we keep this session in the night, 7:30 to 8:30. But I told them that I would prefer 3 to 5:30 or 3 to 5. The reason is very simple. Okay, for something like career and all, unless you want to listen to the person, unless you want to get something out of it, there is no point in sitting at a kind of comfort and going through this all those things. So actually, I wanted only those audience who are actually interested in this. Okay, you should always be willing to take that extra pain to achieve what you actually need. Then only you will enjoy it. Okay, so your idea of your strength and weakness must actually follow with the actions from your side. If you feel that you are weak in one particular, let us say in terms of academics in subject, it is important that you try to learn the subject more, not to get a distinction in the subject, but I would say that not to affect your grade because of that subject. Okay, that is what is actually called as damage control. So that is actually, that kind of practical approach is actually needed. And for that, the first point is very important. Think about yourself. Think about where you are strong. Think about where you are weak, and try to find some actions where you can overcome this. And in the when we go to the further into the talk, we can actually list out certain actions what you can do, certain group activities what you can do to overcome this. And the third one, attitude is very important. Okay, it is actually the attitude what actually makes what you are. Okay, all other things are just a byproduct of this. If you feel that if you want to achieve something, you should have the right attitude. And when your attitude and actions form, and when there is a synergy between these two, you can naturally see that there is performance, there is output for what all things you do, and people will appreciate that. Okay, and you can see in the slide, I hope you can see the slide. You can see there is a kind of a graph I have shown there, which I used to show to all the students when I talk with them. See, actually, if you look at, you are all in the in the beginning of your this thing career now. Initially, when we learn something, like let us say when we have done a BTech or we are about to be a BTech, we at least some of us have a feeling that I know everything in this one. Okay. Now our confidence will be so high than the extent of knowledge what we have, and we think that we know everything about this. Okay. But as we learn, as we try to put in more effort, now this is where you have a degree with you. But after that, when you start following up, when you start looking at things, when you start to do things on your own, then you will realize that there is something more than what I thought. And after that, of course, there comes a situation where you feel that I am not going to understand all those things, or these the things are much complicated. Now, in fact, you have to cross this point. Okay, because after that you will see that when you are attacking the problems from your own side, when you try to learn on your own, slowly the things will start making sense, and you can know. And after that, the things will become much complicated, and you will be always aware of the balance between knowledge and confidence. And whenever you interact with people, there will be a kind of maturity always in your words and always in your actions. Okay, so that kind of thing that you have to achieve, that is what is important when you are actually entering the field or entering into a particular career. Okay, so with this introduction, let me just ask you one question. Why are you here today? Okay, think about that. Don't you can, if you want, you can write down your own answer. The first thing, of course, I'm interested due to due to different reasons. And you can see that there will be people who want to become something. They are very particular that I want to become something. I have so and so in mind. Okay, or somebody is actually interested in a particular area. Okay, so he want to do a higher studies there, or he want to do a work there. Only it's an area, so you don't have a specific. You want to work in that area. That is one thing. And some people are always looking for to be unique in the population. They want to do something of their own. They want to be different from others. Okay, and some people say that I don't have any other choice. So why I am here means like I don't have any other choice, but I have to be here. I have to do something because I'm not sure of what I have to do. Okay, and this last one actually not to you. It's a general point when we go for career guidance classes, because people will come just there and see that so far I did not get anything, and let me try this. Now, actually, I would say that when you have the last two, it's a kind of a negative thing what I feel, because you should not be in a particular talk, or you should not be in a particular process because that you don't have any other choice. Okay, that is a problem with the attitude there. You should be sitting there, you should be involving that activity because you are actually you want to do it for due to some other reason, like you are interested in it. Okay, or you want to learn it, or you want to see how it goes, all those kinds. Okay, yeah, the other things which are like you just come there for sake of coming and just finish it off and go. That is not going to do any kind of value addition to you. So this term value addition is very important when you do something. Okay, so whenever you are working on thing, whenever you do a project, whenever you talk to someone, whenever you go for a conference, whenever you interact with people, whenever you listen to an expert lecture, okay, you have to make sure that you are getting some value addition from this, and definitely you will get it. The only thing is that your attitude and you should be correct in this. So multiple times I will be using the term attitude here, because it is the one that makes you a successful person. Okay, so whenever you go, whenever you are into any kind of action, any kind, when you are venture into anything, or for example, somebody says that I today onwards I will start preparing for this thing. So then you say that I want to prepare for things. So what actually you do, you have to actually measure it in terms of the value addition that you get. For example, let us say if you decide that today onwards I will try to work on my language. Okay, and you start reading newspapers, you start listening to people's talk, you start watching good English movies to correct the accent, etc. then you have to actually monitor yourself. You have to see whether this value addition is coming, or are you just spending your time unnecessarily. So that is what is more important. Okay, so you have to be. Why I am here means I'm just generalizing it. Whenever you do something, think why I am here. The answer should be you want to get some value addition from the process, and you should work for that. Okay. Now, so once you know that your strength and weakness, and it is important that when you want to decide upon an action, then what should be your aim? Your aim should be for the best that is available to you. You can see I have put a top 10 this thing here. Top 10 means I'm not telling that you have to get into the top 10 institutes or top 10 companies like that. But what I actually mean is that when you aim for the best, when you want to aim for the best, you should know what is best. Okay, you should be able to understand and find out what is the best. Okay, so you have to do this is a bit kind of an exercise that you can actually do as a group activity or by taking a period of some time and see first when you say that you want to work in a particular kind of profile in industry, or you want to go for higher studies. Okay, you want to work in a particular area, then what I would suggest is that your first job should be to find out the best institutes or the best companies or the best people with which you actually with which who you would like to work. Okay, so what you have to do is you just find what is best in your field, what is best suited for you, etc., etc., both at the national as well as international level. Now this will not happen within one day. This will take time. You will have to do a lot of homework for it. You will have to interact with the people. You will have to talk to your seniors, your faculty members, okay, experts from industry, etc. And I would suggest that you should list out at least the 10 such things possible, 10 less such things available both in the country as well as outside the country. Now again the question comes, is it for getting admission there, or is it for getting a job there? The answer is 80% time the answer is actually no. It's not for that, but it is for making you understand how to or it is for you to learn to see whether you are looking at the right kind of opportunity. Okay, so because when you start grading some certain things based on some performance index or performance parameters, you should be able to judge yourself whether you are in the right way. Okay, if you take top 10 institutes in the country, we may not even, anybody who is aiming that, everyone who is aiming that will not be able to make it. But at least when you get an opportunity from another institute, okay, you should be able to analyze that institute in terms of the parameters and see whether it is suitable, whether you can go for it. So it is important that whatever you want to become, whatever you want to do, it is important that you are able to analyze the things in a better way. For that, this exercise will really help you. Okay, list out the top 10 people in your area, list out the top 10 institutes in your area, list out the top 10 kind of products on which you want to work. Whatever it is, it depends upon your area. And always you should be thinking very high. I told you in the beginning itself, you are all actually really valuable young blood manpower for the country. Okay, and nobody is actually having anything weak here. Only thing what you have to do is that you have to fine tune yourself. So always think of higher levels. Okay, always try to make it high. And whenever you try to go for higher studies, or whenever you go for getting trained with something, it's always important that the resources and facilities matters. Okay, so let it be just going for a coaching in Calicut, or let it be going for a higher studies in US universities, wherever it is. What is important is the resource and facility matters. Okay, now how do you know about this? You have to talk to people who have already been there. Okay, unless the resource and facility are not proper there, whatever kind of ad or whatever you see, and when you more than money you are investing your time, keep that in mind. Okay, yeah, and you will not get the required value addition. That is what is actually needed. So you should be able to you should do a proper thorough study of resources and facilities wherever you want to go. Okay, that is why you are telling you should always learn to analyze the kind of institutes and or the chances or the opportunity that is available for you. And this will be mostly important for those people who actually wanted to pursue higher studies. Okay, and you should be aware of the scholarships in your area, and you should try to work for it. And what is more important, what I feel is that do not do your higher studies in the same institute where you have done your degree. So for example, you have done your PG in a one institute. Okay. Now there is no point in doing a PG in that institute itself because you get a degree. There is no point. There is no doubt about you get only a degree. You lack exposure. Okay, that is what is important there. With a degree, you need more kind of value addition, which you will miss if you are continuing in the same campus. That is my feeling. So I always suggest that always go one level higher. For example, if you want to do, if you are all at, what I feel is you are all doing your degree with Calicut College of Engineering, Government Calicut, which means that you should aim for to a next level of institute if you want to go for a PG. So I would suggest you have to aim for IIT itself, not even NITs. Okay, prepare well, do the GATE exam properly, try to get admissions in the IITs itself. Okay, if not IIT, you of course can come to NITs. Okay, I'm not telling NITs are bad or something, but when you aim, you have to aim high. That is what is more important. Okay, so that is what I want to actually tell you, that you should aim for the best. Now, how you decide on the best is not by someone telling you that this is the best. Okay, it is for you to understand what is best in the field, do some kind of exercise, and grade the things based on your parameters and decide on what is best for you. Okay, and always make sure that you get more and more exposure and you end up in value addition when you go for. Okay. Now, one thing for those who are actually trying to go or want to get for higher studies, it is always better that you can target some institute. As I told you, once you do this exercise, you can always target certain institutes and interact with people there who are working there as faculty members, who are seniors, who are studying there. Okay, using your contacts and see what will be the best method for preparing to get an admission to that particular. Okay, so that is also one method where you can actually target institutes and prepare for them. Similarly, you can also, even if you're trying for companies, you can target companies. Company specific preparation is also very important when you want to try for a particular kind of profile. Okay, that is also possible. It all needs you to put in effort in terms of mostly interaction with people, mostly making your contacts, making use of your contacts. So you may not have a direct contact, but of course your institute will have, your alumni will have, okay, your professor will have. So there is a way for that. It is up to you to find out that way. Instead of sitting in the comfort zone, you have to venture in, you have to jump into this and see how you can get into those things. Okay, things will not be easy. Every time you may not get a positive result. There will be always rejections and negatives, but you should always take rejections and negatives in the positive way, and you should be able to convert them into results by working more and more on those things. Okay, I hope you can see the slides. You can continue, right? Can someone confirm? Because since it is online, I am just talking to the screen. That's why.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, at least some of you will be there who are getting prepared for placements, or who are in the pre-final year and final year preparing for getting admission to higher institutes. Okay. So this slide is primarily for them. Okay. And so basically I have put a title there, what can I offer? Now why I put this is that you ask a question to yourself, that why should a company hire you, or why should a professor take you as a student? Okay, what is that you can offer? That what you have, do you have something extra than others can offer? Okay, that is the question. Now once you start thinking in that light. Definitely, basic qualification is a very important thing. Okay. Now, sometimes people, when they talk about placements, people say that no, your percentage is not so important. It's all okay. You have to perform in the interview, but it's not like that. From my experience, what I see, what I feel is that your percentage or your grade, whatever it is, or CGP or whatever it is very, very important. Okay. Only thing is that only thing is that it how it actually helps is that it gives you more and more opportunities. You know that there are n number of students. There are n number of students available for the companies. Okay, so when they get a bunch of applications, the first thing they are going to do is to put a cutoff. Okay. You might say that there are companies who do not keep a cutoff. Of course, there are there. But what I'm telling is that when you look at in terms of opportunities available, definitely such opportunities very, very less. So unless you have a very good percentage of mark, or unless you have very good academic performance record, okay, you will face some problem in the beginning of the career. Okay, so it is important that I'm not demotivating those people who don't have much percentage, but it is important that you have a very good percentage of marks. Okay, and though if there are any first year or second year student hearing to this, I would tell them that you have to work on this, because the percentage of your undergraduate degree or the grade cannot be made in the final year. Okay, it is something that it's a cumulative thing. So you make sure that you put in all your efforts to get as much grade or as much marks as possible. That is very important. Again, here the subjects which are very easy for you, don't take them lightly. Take them in the with the most utmost seriousness. Learn them to the depth as much as possible, and try to get the as much as marks in that, so that you can do a damage control for those subjects where you feel you are weak. Okay, and the subjects which you are weak, you have to make sure that you get a minimum grade in those things by taking help from your students, going for combined studies, and looking at the online resources, taking online courses if necessary. Sometimes some particular topic you may not be well taken in a particular campus. Nowadays you have always opportunities available in the online. There are a lot of classes available, okay, in the online, so you can always go up for those and do certain courses there also. Okay, all these things needs the right attitude from you. Okay, your willingness to work. Okay, first you have to feel it seriously, then you have to do it seriously, and then you have to measure it in terms of the output that is coming from it. The output is not that you have to definitely make changes. Okay, and for those who are planning to get higher studies, or even certain jobs are given in terms of GATE nowadays, you have to make sure that in addition to the basic qualification, now if you have a good percentage marks, definitely it is a passport to get over the cutoff that companies keep. Okay, but after that, similarly, when you want to go for higher studies or jobs which are offered based on GATE, you should have the minimum score in all those things. Okay, so these things also you need a good preparation. And if you look at that, you can see that preparation for GATE will be slightly different from preparation for GRE. Okay, so you have to decide on, instead of oscillating between two things like whether GATE or job or higher studies or job, make a decision. That is what is important. Okay, you have to make a decision, and you have to prepare for it. Okay, because the preparation style for GATE is different from preparation style for GR. Okay, if you do a little bit of GATE preparation, then little bit of GRE preparation, sometimes it may not help you. Not sometimes, many times it may not help you. It may work out only for a very small population preparing for two things together. Okay, so I want you to put your 100% to what you actually aim for. If you want to go for higher studies, prepare for GATE in a very well manner, okay, and try to get admissions in IITs, or you have to prepare. You can always, if you want to go outside, okay, you can always look for GRE, this one, and there it is a slightly different method. Okay. So, and similarly, if you want to go for job, it is again a different, altogether different preparation compared to GATE and GR. Okay, but one thing I'm sure that your GATE is more or less close to your core subject. So, if you do well in your core subject and do a bit of practicing based on the GATE syllabus, it is going to help you. So in a way, your GRE preparation, if you take it very seriously, and if you take your studies also seriously, you should be able to get a decent good score in the GATE also, because it will be taken care by your GRE preparation is not going to affect your GATE exam. But the other way, if you are very serious on GATE, okay, and you want to get into IITs, you want to put full time this one, and then GRE preparation, putting taking both together will be a bit difficult. That is what I understand based on feedback from the students. Okay. Now, again, coming to the next thing, that is, of course, you have the basic qualification, you have the competitive exam ranking, etc. What is the next thing that you can offer? Now, these things, what you have here, will not, these two things will be there for everyone who is attending an interview for a particular thing. Okay. Now, you have to make a difference by doing these things. Okay, now how is it possible? Let us take the case of, let us say you're going for a placement. Okay, you have the cutoff, you did the written exam, you cleared, you are into the interview. Okay, now you are actually providing your resume to the other people. Okay, now in the resume, they will look for what you have extra. Okay, so projects are one of the most important things. Now, when I say that projects, people think that I'm talking about projects in the final year. No, what I'm actually telling here is that you have to get involved into the projects. Okay, you should be having a number of projects with you in your curriculum, in your CV or resume. How was it possible? For that, you have to interact with your seniors, interact with your faculty members in the department, and try to do small projects for the courses that you are actually doing. It can be a very small project, very course project kind of thing, term project kind of thing. Your faculty members will be giving you assignments, etc. Request them instead of that to give a term project or a course project. Okay, do it individually or group wise, and make a small report of it. Keep your faculty as a mentor of it. Okay, get a signature, get a certificate from him that you have done this. Of course, you have to do it seriously. It is not putting a certificate. You have to work on it, show, learn about that, whether it is positive result or negative result. You do a project seriously, then you can write, you have done a mini project on this in your resume. Now, when you show such a mini project in your resume, and if it is within the profile or within the thing of the company for which you are giving interview, definitely they are going to ask questions from that. Now, basically, what you are doing is that you are bringing the panel into your line because you have already done a project in that area. You are getting questions from there. You will be more comfortable answering those questions. So you have to do as many projects as possible. Of course, you all will be having one main project that I know, but those who are in the second year and third year now, try to do as many course projects as possible. Okay. Now, projects are not something always that you have to do big things. No, there are small things which you can do at your own level. Okay. So try to do such kind of projects. Bring into your resume those things also. So now these things will not be there for everyone. Only for those people who are interested in doing projects, who wanted to show that they can do something extra, who have that right attitude to be doing that. So definitely you are going to get some marks for that. You have projects, a number of projects shown in your resume. Internships, it's very important. You can go for an industry internship, or you can go for a higher institute or a research lab internship during your vacation, which everyone will not do. Instead of enjoying your vacation in some other manner, if you put 1 or 2 vacations, okay, for this kind of internship, and if your curriculum permits, if you can go for a 6 months internship, a semester internship, I'm not sure about that. If it permits, you should definitely go for that. Okay, internships actually gives you a lot of value addition in terms of what is actually happening in the field. Okay, what you learn from the book and the gap between what is happening in the field, there is a huge difference. Okay, So whenever you get a chance to do internship, you should definitely go for that. Let it be with paid, or paid means you get some stipend for it. Let it be without a stipend, whatever it is. If you feel that this area is of interest to you, definitely go into an internship and try to do that. Okay. Now, those who want to go for MS or higher studies outside, okay, it will be always good if you have something to be shown in terms of your publications or conferences or workshops. The publications won't come as such, okay. Publication, you need some sustained effort to have. But conferences, definitely. For example, when you do a project with one of the faculty members, okay, here, okay, and you find that there is a conference happening in nearby somewhere, or where which is accessible to you, you make a request, you send a small paper to the attend a conference. So what is the advantage there? People working in those areas will be available there. There are professors from different institutes, different universities, okay. A lot of people working in the similar area, your peer group, everyone will be there. So you can interact with those people. Okay, so that actually shows a culture that you are actually really interested in doing R&D work or doing publication, etc., which will be an added advantage for you. And sometimes some universities give additional marks also in point scale when they grade your, when they look for your application. Okay, so try to make good publications or present papers in conferences or attend workshops so that you get more and more than what you actually learn from the books. What is because most of the publications or conferences and workshops will talk about what is really happening now in the industry, though your syllabus may not be updated about that. Okay, so that is what is important. And any chance to get a rank or award or other recognitions, you have to make use of it. Now, this can be something at your institute level, at your department level. Okay, let it be whatever it is, whatever it is. Okay, but it shows a kind of your efforts to excel in some particular thing. Okay, it can be in extracurricular activities. Okay, it can be in academics, whatever it is. Whenever you have a chance to participate in something, whether you get an award or not, whether you get a rank or not, whatever it is, but participate in that. And if you get an award or a recognition for your input, your work you have done, it is well and good, and you should definitely show that in your resume. Okay. Now, online courses. Online courses, there are a lot of online courses nowadays. There are in NPTEL itself a lot of courses. There are Coursera and so many other things available online. So in your area of interest, okay, it is better that you always go one step ahead. Okay, you might have done a fundamental course in as a part of your degree course, but take some extra time, register for some online courses in that area, and strengthen your fundamentals, and also leap a little more deep into this subject and see what is actually what are the other advanced form of this particular area. So always you can make use of online courses, and also sometimes if there a kind of a particular course is not offered as a part of your syllabus, you want to learn about that, especially for example artificial intelligence and machine learning nowadays. Okay, it's important that you know about it, whoever it is, whoever it is. Okay, whether you are a computer science student, whether you are a civil engineering student, whether you are a chemical engineering student, whether you are a mechanical engineering student, whoever it is important that you prepare for AI and ML. Okay, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data science, etc. Because now that is the future. You cannot run away from cyber physical system. Okay, wherever you are, whatever you are going to be, you will have to know about this. So it is always better that you get a basic understanding of what is this, and if possible, try to do more courses in this area also. Okay, and STEM and STEAM, most of it be knowing it's nothing but nowadays it is going to be science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. It is the kind of what you call education is actually taking the turn. Okay, so it is important that you prepare yourself for this. Okay, now if you don't get a placement, okay, if you don't get a placement, when you you end up in some kind of a gap, or if or you had you have to drop a course in 1 year in between due to some reason. Okay, then you should have a very clear-cut, convincing answer for this question when you go for an interview. Okay, it is important that you explain the gap. Okay, idling is not so good. Okay, so when if you feel that there is a gap coming, or you have to make up for the gap. Okay, use the gap properly so that you will be able to tell what you have done during this period. Okay, and another thing what is important is that you should have a very good self-appraisal document. You should be able to tell others in a document form like what is you. Okay, so you should prepare a very good self-appraisal document for you, and see that and if you have to in language wise, content wise, everything you have to improve that. So start drafting it, okay, then improvise on it, and finally make a very good self-appraisal document. That is very important. Okay. Now, in general, what I want to tell you is that all these things are certain. All these are things which you can actually offer, and which someone will look into what you can offer. Okay, so you will get an edge over others if you work on those things. And these are not certain things which are not possible. This is possible for everyone. Okay, and only thing what you need is, again, the term I used before, you need a right attitude to work for these things. Okay. Yeah, just one example. For example, when you prepare about, let us say you want to do some kind of, you say you want to go for higher studies. Okay, so basically, you have to definitely do a background work, as I told you, or in which kind of university, what area, etc., etc. Okay, and there are certain. I know everyone will be there on Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. nowadays. But there are certain professional networking also to be done, especially LinkedIn and Research Gate. Okay, so better if you are not member of these things, better to have profile in this. Okay, try to make up your profile, improve your profile. Okay, see how people are presenting themselves there, and of course that networking will help you in knowing about people working in your area, etc. Okay, so background work is very important. Just I have shown a kind of a cartoon there where a person just goes into to a professor and say who is and he want to do about that, and he's telling the professor that can you just tell me what you do. But basically, you can see that any professor who is working, there is no need for him to talk about what he is doing. Okay, he will have published works, he will have his website, he will have his institute profile, everything will be there. So it's better that you go through that before you go to meet a professor, before you mail to the professor. Okay, and I would suggest that it's with an unknown person. I don't think it is better. It's good to do the first contact through a Facebook chat or a WhatsApp. Okay, it's always better you write a formal email to those people, and be patient to get the reply. Okay, there will be rejections I told you in the beginning, but rejections are actually just the beginning. Okay, when you send 100 mail, you may get reply only for 5% sometimes. Okay, but that is okay. It's not with you alone; it's with everyone. Okay. So this is what I mean by doing the background work. Just one example. Okay, similar things you can think of in other lines too. Okay. Now, sometimes I see the students write all these things like MS Office, Google Form, LaTeX, then PowerPoint, Word, etc. in their resume. But nowadays these are the minimum skills. Okay, projecting this as your skill, I don't think it is going to help you. Okay, so I don't think that, but these are the minimum skills required. Okay, so these are just the tools of the day which everyone should be knowing. Okay, so at least one kind of a presentation preparation. Either whether you go for slides or LaTeX or Prezi or PowerPoint. Okay, either you go for Origin or Excel or Google Sheet. Okay, all those things, these are actually tools. Okay, you have to work on them. You have to become, you should be able to use them in a very decent way. Okay, this is not for keeping these things in the resume. Okay, this you are supposed to know. This is a minimum skill nowadays. Okay, so everyone will expect you to have these things. Now, if some of you are not good in using these things, okay, I would suggest that just practice. It's all about practicing and do every day something in those things so that you learn about those things. Okay. And nobody can teach. I mean, there are people who teach this, but there is no need of teaching this. Anybody can learn this by using that. Okay. So I think this will be my last slide. Okay. So what is more important is that when you are in a campus, you have to become part of the community. Okay. There is a community there, whether you are doing your BTech, whether you are doing your MTech, whether you are doing your PhD in a campus. Okay. You cannot isolate yourself. It is important that you be part of the community. You take part in as much as programs or as much as show your presence as well as active involvement in the activities that are going on there. And of course, for a career, you should definitely have a career diary. Diary does not mean that you need a very large book, etc. I would suggest that it's better either you can have a note in your note app in your mobile, or you can even have a hard copy of a note. And whenever you get some input, something, whenever some thought comes to it, it's important that you note it down, because unless we note it down, we'll not remember it. Unless you remember it, you will not work on that. Okay, that is very important. Even you can think of now, you might have thought of doing many things long before, but somehow you just keep on postponing it, or then you forget about it. But imagine if you have written it down there and you develop, or you make it a practice that you go through your diary once in a while and tick on the things what you have to do and concentrate on doing that. Okay, then the things would have changed. Okay, you would have achieved a much better thing. You would have got a more insight to things which are actually looking for. Okay, and know what you are. You should know your strength and weakness. It is very important. Okay, and do all and take part in all the activities where there's a possibility of networking. Okay, because talking to people, discussing with people, discussing with the peer group, everything, all those things will actually bring in a lot of positive things to you. Okay, everything every day when you discuss with people, you will learn at least one or two things, and that is important. Okay, and you should be open to criticism, and also you should be open when people reject you. Don't feel bad about it. Be humble always. Okay, open to criticism, and and when you criticize someone, make sure that it is a positive thing. And when you feel that somebody is actually very negative on you and they just want to pull you down, just ignore it. Okay, take only the positive criticisms and try to work on that. But whenever some criticism you are into, you hear about some criticism, think about that. Okay, and you should be willing to work hard as well as working smart. I think both are important. Okay, it is not that you just get things out in a easy way. It will not work always. Okay, working hard as well as working smart is important, and try to get clear goals. It is very important. Okay, you have to think on what you actually want to become. You have to think. Don't just keep it like that. Okay, you make a decision that you want to achieve some certain kind of goals, and you work for it. Okay, and you work for it means you make things in a very organized way. And if you want to go for a research, then definitely a research plan is very important. And the next thing is the most important thing. Okay, all of you, especially this generation, now you are in a comfort zone. Wherever you are there, you prefer to sit in that comfort zone. You have to come out of the comfort zone. Okay, it is not easy to get the things done. Okay, nothing is free here. You have to put some kind of effort. Okay, so you make sure that you come out of your comfort zone, spend some time on what you want to become every day in a well organized way. Okay, and you look at the output also, whether you are actually able to improve. Okay, and having good writing and communication skill is very important. And when I mean communication skill, is the language is for communication. Okay, so you might think that it is about grammar or something. No, the first thing, it is about willing to talk to people. Okay, and to improve the writing, you have to write. So nowadays there are you people I have seen this generation always they are good in making the trolls. They just give a lot of replies on WhatsApp, everything. So you when you choose a topic on a daily basis and start writing on them. Okay, communication skill in terms of listening to people, in terms of talking to people. Okay, in terms of writing, reading, etc. You have to improve. For reading, definitely I would suggest you to read newspapers. That is one thing, because daily you have new things to read. Okay, if you enjoy reading, definitely read other very good books also. Okay, then listening to people, of course, listening to good movies. Okay, good series, etc. will help you. Even it will help you in getting the accent. Sometimes when you go for interviews, the interview may happen from abroad also. Okay, it happened many times that students are not able to pick the accent. So it is important that you clear your accent. All these will be are actually required nowadays. Okay, so you have to work on that. If it don't come automatically, you have to work on that. And when you write emails, also there are certain email etiquettes that you have to follow, which also you should develop. It's not that simply you write whatever you want in the way you actually like it. Maybe using some words which may offend others, and people may not find interest, or you write two paragraphs or three paragraphs in a single mail. All these things the people will not even read that, they will just delete. Okay, it is important that you look into all those things. Okay, so this is what I have to say with you. I thought of sharing with you. So if you have any questions, if you have anything to interact, I will be happy, because I thought I will keep the presentation very small, and if you want me, if you want to interact, or if you want to talk about something, we will go with that. Okay, it's open, and please feel free to interact. Yeah.
ആർക്കെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ഡൗട്ട് ഉണ്ടെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ചാറ്റ് ബോക്സിലോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മൈക്ക് ഓൺ ആക്കിയിട്ടോ ചോദിക്കാം സാറിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത്.
ആ സാർ, ഈ ഞാനിപ്പോൾ ഒരു 4th ഇയർ സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റ് ആണ്. പക്ഷേ എനിക്ക് ജസ്റ്റ് ഒന്ന് ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇയേഴ്സും സെക്കൻഡ് ഇയേഴ്സും ഒന്ന് അറിഞ്ഞാൽ കൊള്ളുന്നതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ചോദിക്കുന്നതാണ്. ഈ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇയറിലും സെക്കൻഡ് ഇയറിലുള്ള ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡൻറ് എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഐഡിയയുമായിട്ട് മുമ്പോട്ടേക്ക് വരിക, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ഐഡിയാസ് കിട്ടാൻ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ടിപ്സോ ട്രിക്സോ സാറിന് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഉണ്ടോ?
See, basically, project and project is something which we find from our area of interest. The question is how you find your area of interest.
യെസ് സാർ, അങ്ങനെ.
അപ്പോൾ അത് ഏരിയ ഓഫ് ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ബേസിക്കലി ഓരോരുത്തരും അവരുടേതായ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ഇതിൽ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കും. ചിലവരത് ക്ലാസ്സിന് ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് പറയുന്നതിനായിരിക്കും, ചിലവർ വായിച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും, ചിലർ സീനിയേഴ്സ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് ഓൾ ഡിപ്പെൻഡ്സ് upon. But as a campus, there are a lot of opportunities for a student to explore. അതിൽ മെയിൻ ആയിട്ടുള്ളത് one thing is interacting with faculty members, interacting with the seniors. Okay, these two will definitely take a student to will help a student in deciding on what he actually want to do, what is the area of interest. And once he is clear about the area of interest, just look for people who work in that area, try to do projects with them. That's it. So open, you can ask. Okay, if I am able to help, I can answer.
സാറ് ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ഫേസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും അതേപോലെ തന്നെ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ഡിസ്കഷൻ അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കേണ്ട കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ, സജഷൻ ഓഫ് അഡ്വൈസ് സാറിന് ഷെയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ?
See, preparing for an interview, one thing as I told you is that actually they are looking for whether you have the right attitude. They are not looking how much you have learned the subject. What they are looking is, given a situation, will you be able to perform? Okay, and whether you will fit into that population. So mostly there will be two kind of interviews. One is a technical round, other will be an HR round. Okay. Now, technical round, it is important that you prove yourself that you can actually deal with the problem. Okay, you may not be able to give an answer to a particular question, but given a problem, how you attack that problem is very important. Okay. Now, this comes with practice. And as I told you, if you have certain projects shown in your resume, if you you say that you are interested in a particular area where the company is working, definitely you can expect questions from those areas. Okay, so we call the preparation as company-specific preparation. Okay, for that, first thing you have to do is that you have to find someone who is working in that company. Okay, mostly you'll get it from your alumni network. Talk to them what is happening there. Get advice from them. Okay, and try to prepare for it. That is one thing. And second thing is you have to be always truthful. Okay, you should say that I have done a project only if you have done it properly. Otherwise, you should not be keeping it. Similarly, nowadays there's a practice of giving company-specific resume. What actually students do is at the beginning of the placement season, they make a one resume. Okay, and every time any company comes, they keep on giving the copy of it. It should not be like that. You should be, when a company is visiting or when you are planning to go for interview with a company, you should do a background work about the company first. Okay, what are the products of the company? Okay, and how it is performing. Okay, so and how it matches with your area of interest, and you should actually provide a resume in such a way that your resume matches with that profile. It's important nowadays. It's not that, because gone are those days in which company just take people who have good marks and aptitude and train them to get those things. They can't afford it actually. They're actually looking for people who can be molded to their system with minimum training. Okay, so to prove to them that you have the right attitude, you have certain things, strong points with respect to their profile, your resume should be company specific. Okay, once you make a company specific resume, okay, definitely questions are to be from that area, and that is how you feel a technical this thing. Now coming to HR, the person's responsibility to see that you fit into their group. Okay, HR is not sitting there for rejecting you. HR is sitting there for selecting you. Okay, and because nowadays you see that there are a lot of opportunities available in the industry, but they don't find people with the proper skills. So the moment they get a technical, the moment a technical panel clears you, then HR actually wants to take you. Now it is your attitude, the way you present yourself there actually makes a decision whether you are selected or whether you are rejected. Now, how do you face an HR interview? That you can see all of you can see there are a lot of videos in YouTube facing HR interviews. Just go through those things as much as possible. Now you are all on 24/7 on network on the mobile with you. Okay, doing PUBG and all those whatever it is. Spend some time on this. I will give you one very simple thing. The moment you get into HR, most of the case, 90% of the case, the HR will tell what the one question is: tell me about yourself. Now, when they say tell me about yourself, then you should not start thinking. Okay, you should be able to tell about yourself because they are asking something about yourself that you should be able to express. Okay, so there is nothing wrong even if you have a ready-made answer prepared for this. Okay, if you just Google and see tell me about yourself question in HR rounds, there are many things that people say, and there are certain minimum things you have to include about yourself. Mostly the generally people start with I am so and so. It's not required because they know who you are. Okay, so actually what more than what is there in the resume or what you can tell, what is your positive things, whether you will be an asset, how you are going to be an asset to the company. This is what you have to convince them. So if you ask me that when you go for an interview, whether there is a strict protocol or something, I'm not sure about it. Okay, but this is the thing. A technical team looks for your attitude towards solving problems. Okay, your technical know-how definitely, and what you have done in that particular area, whether you are really aware of it. And your HR actually, once you clear a technical, wants to take you, and they actually check whether you fit into their group. Okay, their population there. And for that, you have to actually express yourself in a better way. So you can definitely refer to resources available online and prepare yourself. Okay. Yeah. Interacting with the seniors who are already working in the company helps a lot. That I'm sure. Okay, that has worked a lot. And if you are getting multiple times, if you are getting rejected from HR round, it's important that you talk to some expert and recall the questions you are answering to the HR and the answer you have given. Discuss with someone who knows about the process and correct it. That is also important. Yeah, and if you have a gap in the career, make an answer, convincing answer for that is also very important. Yeah, I hope you got some idea. Any more questions?
Students, you can have, if you are having any question, you can ask. കാരണം ജി സി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് എന്താണെന്ന് സാറിന് നന്നായിട്ട് അറിയാം. സാറ് NIT ജോയിൻ ചെയ്ത അന്ന് മുതലേ എന്നും ജി സി ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡൻറ്റിന് സാറിന് എംടെക് സ്റ്റുഡൻ്റായിട്ട് കിട്ടാറുണ്ട്. കാരണം ഇവിടുന്ന് ബിടെക് കഴിഞ്ഞ് അവിടെ എംടെക് ജോയിൻ ചെയ്യുന്നവർ കുറേ പേര്, നമ്മുടെ അലുമിനിക്കാർ കുറേ പേര് സാറിൻ്റെ കൂടെ എംടെക് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞു പോയി. ഇപ്പോൾ PhD ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുകൊണ്ട് ജി സി സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് എന്താണെന്ന് നന്നായിട്ട് അറിയാം. അതുകൊണ്ട് എന്താണെങ്കിലും നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്താണോ ചോദിക്കാനുള്ളത് അത് ചോദിക്കാം. അത് പിന്നെ
What Sajid Babu telling is correct. I know very well GC students because I have taught them here, and when I did my PhD, some of the GC students were my classmates also. So I have even learned things from them also. So I know exactly the pulse. You can ask me. Shafin Shahjahan has put a question that explain the placement of applied electronics and instrumentation department. Shafin, if you ask me branch-wise, I may not be able to give a particular list of companies or something like that. For that, you have to actually interact with your seniors itself. Okay. But I can tell you one thing, companies do not come for a particular branch. They come for a particular profile. Profile is a bit different from branch. Okay. For example, sometimes let us Reliance comes. Reliance Jamnagar industry comes. So you will think that they come here for techno-mechanical and chemical people. Definitely they take. But actually they come with a requirement that they want mechanical people who know how to do programming, how to do coding. Okay, they are looking for people who are good in coding. You know why it is happening? Because nowadays it is going to be cyber physical systems. So they are actually looking for interdisciplinary skills. So what I would suggest is that in your core company, okay, if you think in terms of any core sector, it has become mandatory for them to switch on to AI and ML. Okay, so it is important that you prepare yourself for that kind of profile. That is what I can say. But so if you are looking for opportunities, you should be developing skills in that area too, and how to apply it in your particular branch. Other than that, I don't have a direct answer for the question. Yeah.
ഓക്കെ സർ. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ മെക്കാനിക്കൽ ഡിപ്പാർട്ട്മെന്റിലെ സജിത് ബാബു സാറുണ്ട്. സാറെ ക്ഷണിക്കുന്നു.
ഞാനിവിടെ എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞാലും അത് ശരിയാവില്ല. കാരണം അനസ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എൻ്റെ വളരെ അടുത്ത സുഹൃത്താണ്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഇവിടെ എന്ത് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും അത് പിന്നെ ശരിയാവില്ല എന്ന് തന്നെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. പക്ഷെ എന്നിരുന്നാലും ഈ ഇത്രയും നേരം നമ്മളോട് ഇൻട്രാക്ട് ചെയ്ത, അതായത് ഒരുപാട് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ നമുക്ക് തന്നു, GC സ്റ്റുഡൻസിന് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ പറഞ്ഞു തന്നു. കോഴിക്കോട് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ സാറിന് ഞാൻ പ്രത്യേകം നന്ദി പറയാണ്. ഈ പറയുന്ന പോലെ ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരുപാട് ഭാഗ്യമുള്ള ആളുകളാണ്. കാരണം പഠിപ്പിച്ച സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് തന്നെ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ക്ലാസ്മേറ്റ്സ് ആയിട്ട് അതേപോലെ കൊളീഗ്സ് ആയിട്ടൊക്കെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരുപാട് ഭാഗ്യം ലഭിച്ച ആൾക്കാരാണ് ഞങ്ങളൊക്കെ. അതുകൊണ്ട് പിന്നെ ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ, കോഴിക്കോട് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ട് വളരെ നന്നായിട്ട് സാറിന് അറിയാം. കാരണം ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് സാറിൻ്റെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആയിരുന്നു. അതായത് എംടെക്കിന് സാറ് ഗൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈവൻ ഒരു സ്റ്റുഡൻറ്റ് ഇപ്പോൾ PhD സാറ് ഗൈഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതേപോലെ നമ്മുടെ കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്റ്റുഡൻസും അവിടുത്തെ സാറുമായിട്ട് നമ്മളെപ്പോഴും ഇൻട്രാക്ഷൻ ഉണ്ട്. കുറേ കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളായിട്ട് സാറ് പങ്കുവെക്കാറുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇതൊരു നല്ല സെഷനായിട്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയത്. നിങ്ങൾക്കും അതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഉപകാരപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവുമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുന്നു. പിന്നെ ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് പറയേണ്ടത് സ്റ്റുഡൻസ് ആണ്. ഐ എം വെയിറ്റിംഗ് ഫോർ യുവർ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക്. താങ്ക് യു.
4 കൊല്ലത്തോളം ഏകദേശം പല കോഴ്സുകൾ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് മുമ്പോട്ടേക്ക് പോകുന്ന ഏതൊരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥിക്കും പ്ലേസ്മെൻ്റ് ഒരു കയ്യെത്താ ദൂരത്തുള്ള ഒരു സംഭവമല്ല എന്ന് തിരിച്ചറിയാൻ പറ്റുന്നതായിരിക്കും ഈ ഒരു സെഷൻ്റെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയൊരു വിജയം. നമ്മളെക്കൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഏത് കാര്യവും നമുക്ക് ചെയ്തെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെന്നും അത് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് തന്നെയാണെന്ന് ഊട്ടിയുറപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സെഷനായിരുന്നു ഇത്. നിർബന്ധിത പ്രൊജക്റ്റിനുമേൽ വേറെ പല പ്രൊജക്റ്റുകളും, എപ്പോഴും അറിവ് നേടാനും പ്രൊജക്റ്റുകൾ ചെയ്യാനും പുതിയ പുതിയ ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങൾ പഠിക്കുവാനും വേണ്ടിയുള്ള ഒരു ത്വരയാണ് നമുക്ക് കരിയറിൽ വിജയിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടതെന്ന് ഹനസ് സാർ നമുക്ക് പറഞ്ഞു തരികയുണ്ടായി. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഈ സെഷന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഇത്രയും നേരം നമ്മളുമായി സംസാരിച്ച ഹനസ് സാറിന് നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. ആപ്റ്റിക്കോയുടെ പേരിൽ നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. ഗവൺമെൻറ് എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് കോളേജ് കോഴിക്കോടിൻ്റെ പേരിൽ നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. കൂടെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന സജിത് ബാബു സാറിന് നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
Thank you. Okay then. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much.